Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here to talk about Impact Wrestling Slammiversary 2018. Now, this show came from the Rebel Complex in Toronto. The show just finished and went off the air, and I want to give a quick review of it. And just know, Everything Pro Wrestling community, I love you guys because I'm staying up late and I have to work in a couple of hours. So let's get right into this, guys. Let's not waste any time. We started off the night with a fatal four-way or a four-way match. We had the Bone Soldier from Bullet Club, who is Ishimori, versus Fenix, versus Johnny Impact, versus Petey Williams, who had to fill in for Rich Swann, who suffered a concussion. This was a great four-way match. Something that was an excellent opener and something that the people definitely should want to check out and see. The match ended with Johnny Impact picking up the big victory. He did a phenomenal job in this match. I love the use of talent, of basically Impact Wrestling finding ways to use the guys from Lucha Underground. I think it's a phenomenal job and they're doing great with that. I don't know. I love Lucha Underground, so it's a great way to integrate people into the product. So big thumbs up for that. We get to our second match. Oh, I'm sorry. And the grade I gave that was a B+. So, and everything will be down in the description below as well. Our second match was Tessa Blanchard versus Allie. Basic match. Nothing in here that you could say was horrendous, but at the same time, I didn't see anything that was great. Nothing that I'm like, you need to go out of your way to see this match. I give this a C+. Tessa Blanchard picked up the victory. Good to see her getting her chance to shine, and I think it's just a matter of time before we see her with that Knockouts Championship. Too early now, but it's going to happen eventually, I feel. So, good win for Tessa Blanchard. And you know what? Allie deserves a lot of credit in this, too. I've met her before. She's very nice. No issues with this, though. She did excellent in this match, so I wanted to make sure I gave her her props. Now we get to the next match, which is the House of Hardcore match with Eddie Edwards versus Tommy Dreamer. And I have enjoyed the storyline, as I said with the Redemption review video that I did. Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer have done a great job with this entire storyline with how they played it out. So in this match, you're going to notice a lot of different things. Fans were chanting ECW an awful lot. Lots and lots of ECW chants, which Tommy Dreamer's in it, so what are you expecting? Now, at one point in the match, Tommy Dreamer used the staple gun on Eddie Edwards, so if this is not your forte, you're not going to like this match. We also had a Death Valley driver spot from Tommy Dreamer, putting Eddie Edwards through 2 chairs. I thought that was really good and well done. In the end, Eddie Edwards ends up getting the win. I think he used a knee to the head. I can't even remember at this point. I believe he kneed Tommy Dreamer in the head or hit him with like a Shining Wizard. Decent match, though. Tommy Dreamer, eventually afterwards, Eddie Edwards' wife comes out and Tommy Dreamer passes him the kendo stick. So basically that shows a passing of the torch, I felt, to saying that, okay, they're moving on, they're moving past this, and they kind of, I don't know, hugged it out, we'll say, and did everything else. But the question is, for this feud, is this over? Or what's next for Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer? We'll have to wait and see, but I loved everything from when it was the Sami Callihan feud, and Impact did a nice job capitalizing on this, and hopefully it got them some more eyeballs on their product. C+ for that match. Same as the last one with Tessa and Allie. C+. Now we get to the X Division title match, which has Matt Sydal, to some WWE fans known as Evan Bourne, if you're wondering where he's performing these days, versus Brian Cage. If you've never seen Brian Cage from Lucha Underground, you don't know what you're missing out on, guys. Truly an amazing talent. Very impressive. So we get into this match, guys, and the match showcases the talents of both men. Matt Sydal is a great high flyer, flying all around the ring, doing things, still to this day. And we also have Brian Cage, who can fly around the ring, but he also has amazing strength. Something that you definitely don't want to doubt. there's a spot in the match that I love. I tweeted this out on the EPW shows, how you can follow me on Twitter. Go on there, and I tweeted or retweeted a GIF. I think it was from Impact, if I'm not mistaken. So Sydal jumps off the top rope, and Cage catches him in a suplex position. The strength that you have to do that, amazing. And he made it look easy, like flawless. So after that match, Brian Cage ends up winning. The finish is that Matt Sydal goes to the top. He looks like he hit really hard on a shooting star press. I felt bad for Matt Sydal, but Brian Cage ends up picking him up and hitting him with like the Steiner screwdriver for the 1-2-3 new Knockouts champion, Brian Cage. So big thumbs up to you, sir. We get to the 5th match on the card. Madison Rayne versus Su Yung for Impact's Knockout Championship. And throughout the night, I've noticed this in this match. I saw a lot of like cutters and RKOs, whatever you want to call them, in a lot of the matches. And I thought it was just a little overdone. And once I saw it here, it just triggered in my mind. Now, we get to the finish of the match. This match was basic. It was a little bit better than your average, and I felt that they did a good job telling a story in the ring of Madison Rayne trying to fight back to try to win the belt, to bring home to her daughter, yada yada yada. I like that she had her in the position to hit her finisher, and then Su Yung ends up giving her the mandible claw, which is a filthy move with your fingers in someone's throat. But Su Yung gets the victory, and they wind up putting Madison Rayne inside of the casket with all of her bridesmaids out there with the bloody dresses and everything else. Very cool ending, so I had to give it a few extra points for that, or that would have been in that C+ range. But in the end, I'm giving it a B-, guys. Good match by Su Yung. Big thumbs up. So it'll be interesting to see who she faces next for a challenger. And what happens with Madison Rayne? Does she become one of the bridesmaids or what? We get to the 51-50 street fight with, this is kind of like new TNA meets old TNA, this match. We had LAX with Konnan versus, I'm going to call them the OGs. That's what it looks like they're going by, but it's basically the original LAX with Hernandez and Homicide with Eddie King. Oh, man. LAX, who came out with Konnan, they came out with like the Dead Presidents look. They had their faces painted up black and white. If you've never seen the movie Dead Presidents, highly recommend it. They came out with that look, though. This match was nothing but chaos. Like, there were just so many great spots in it throughout it. I loved when Hernandez did Hernandez. He did a dive over the top rope first, and he flew out to the ring. And then Homicide even did a great one where when he was in Ring of Honor, he used to do this all the time. He bounced off the ropes and he dives through the middle rope, but instead of doing a tope, he kind of tucks his head and rolls through. He did it right through a table, and just an unbelievable match, guys. So here's the finish. It looks like he's going for the Gringo Killer, aka the Vertebreaker. He's setting up the guy to do the move, and Konnan gets up on the rope. Konnan throws a bag into the ring to I don't remember who it was from LAX. Either way, it doesn't matter. He throws a bag into the ring, and there's tacks in the bag, and he ends up getting them. Well, the guy picks up a handful of tacks, throws it in Homicide's face. Homicide gets body slammed on them, and then he hits a frog splash on him. 1, 2, 3. LAX wins the 51-50 street fight. But after this match, you know it's not over. Immediately after, the OGs go in, after they're celebrating with their belts, and beat them down. Konnan ends up getting hit with a slapjack by Eddie King. He comes in and he basically just hits him with the slapjack right across the back of his head. And, I don't know. Konnan goes down like a ton of bricks. LAX is down, and then they pick up the titles and they spray paint OG on them. So this feud is not over yet, and I thought that Hernandez and Homicide looked very impressive in this match. There were some spots where it got ugly, but you know what? It was a street fight, so it worked still. I felt like that's how it should look. Now, we had to give this a grade of a B, guys. Nothing wrong with it. They did an excellent job with this match. I thought that it kept you very involved throughout, so it gets the big thumbs up from me. We get to what I'm going to give the sleeper match of the night. the match that impressed me the most, and it's getting match of the night for me. Hair versus mask. We had Sami Callihan versus Pentagon Jr. This match was hard hitting. It's great. It's kind of like the 4-way match. I have to give it nothing but props. Like, you should definitely go back and check it out if you can. So, in this match, the match gets crazy. Steel spikes come into use in this match. There were big chops, everything else. Callihan looked crazy throughout the whole match. It makes you wonder why he wasn't used like this in NXT. But Pentagon Jr. winds up getting him with some good chops in it. Sami Callihan gets on the upper hand, and he goes to the outside, and he grabs spikes, like those galvanized spikes that you can get at Lowe's. And he grabs 2 of them, puts them in his mouth, and goes into the ring, starts ripping at Pentagon Jr.'s mask. And he's punching him in his head and ripping his mask. And then he takes the 2 spikes and starts jamming them into his head. And you see blood everywhere gushing from his head. Then you get to the fact of, after he does that, you know, eventually Pentagon's got to get his. So he gets the spikes, and he starts jamming them into his head. But he's setting them up. Let me see if I got another thing here. So I got a marker. He's basically holding them like this and hitting the spikes into his head, so it makes that disgusting noise when you hear 2 like galvanized spikes hitting each other. And after that, they wind up both getting a spike, and they're jamming them into each other's heads. There's blood everywhere in this match, guys. Just one of those classic fights. They have some steel chairs. People are getting thrown through them. The ref gets his arm broken in the match. If you've ever watched Lucha Underground, how Pentagon does the arm crank and he pulls back on his arm, he basically breaks the referee's arm in the match, and the referee's arm is injured. He can't make any 3 counts. He can't do anything because he's in pain. They tease a spot with basically Callihan looking like he's got the win. There's no ref to count. A ref comes out. 1, 2, kick out. Unbelievable. Pentagon's still in the match. OVE ran out in the match, but they didn't really get to do anything. So during this, Pentagon eventually gets hit with the powder, aka the Mr. Fuji, and he gets it tossed right into his face. And you think it's over for Pentagon, but he winds up reversing the chairs that Sami Callihan has set up, and basically hits him with that cradle pile driver right between the chairs. 1, 2, 3. Pentagon Jr. wins. And Pentagon Jr. is one of my favorites on Lucha Underground, so very cool to see that. They tried to get away after the match, but Fenix and security push Sami Callihan back out. The security holds OVE back so that they don't get to interfere, and Fenix ends up kicking Sami Callihan, and they shave his head. The fans were funny in this. They chanted "shave his beard." So I love the crowd that was there tonight. They were very into it. And then we get to the main event match, guys. I don't want to keep you here all night. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get to that, there was one announcement, and it was Bound for Glory will be taking place in New York City, October 14th, 2018, at the Melrose Ballroom. So if you guys are from New York City and you want to get tickets, or if you're traveling to there to see this, that's where you need to go. So make sure you check out Impact Wrestling for the latest on those tickets and that show. Moose versus Austin Aries. I didn't know who was going to win this match. Austin Aries has been the belt collector since he's left WWE. He's done a tremendous job. But Austin Aries versus Moose was a really good main event match. Not anything that's going to knock your socks off, but they did solid work. And Moose, for his height and his size, you didn't know how the styles were going to work. But Aries did a good job putting him over in this match, making him look good. Great effort by both. And I'm sorry if I didn't say it too. That last match got a B+. Random thought. Moose versus Austin Aries, though. Great effort by both guys. People were getting tossed into the crowd, thrown onto the stage that they were walking on, everything. But in the end, Moose's effort was not good enough to stop Austin Aries. Austin Aries winds up picking up the victory, and he is still your Impact Heavyweight Champion. I gave that a B-. Overall, guys, this is an excellent show. Just like last year. Last year's show is what got me back into doing reviews on Impact Wrestling. I was not interested in the product at all, but Impact's starting to turn it around a little bit. So if you have been half in, half out on watching Impact Wrestling again, it's time to give it another chance, I feel. Overall, I give this a B for the show rating. Solid. Very good. Probably better than solid. I'd say it's a good show. Definitely one worth your time if you wanted to check it out. Mostly B matches on here, and a couple C pluses, which is solid. So I don't think you'll be disappointed with it. Good job, and I look forward to Bound for Glory. I can't wait to see what Impact puts on that night. Don Callis is doing a tremendous job, so if you guys like it, great. I love it. I want to see Don Callis and Impact succeed, and I love their relationship with Lucha Underground, so keep up that great work, guys. Other than that, I really don't have too much else to say besides do me a favor and make sure that you guys leave a like on the video if you like the show, if you like TNA Impact, or I'm sorry, it's not even TNA anymore. Bad Conrad. If you guys liked the Impact show, leave a thumbs up. Down below, I have everything for my podcast. If you guys want to follow me on social media, if you want to join the Everything Pro Wrestling groups, everything's down below there. And if you guys want to leave a comment and talk some wrestling with me, because I'm trying to get more into Impact, so maybe you guys can help me out and tell me what's going on the weekly shows, let me know. Leave a comment down below, though, guys, and I appreciate anybody who took their time to watch this video. I am out. Enjoy. Peace.